don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Major, presented by Curling Stadium Beaumont and the Alberta Curling Series and Curling Zone on YouTube. And we're here in Alberta for a matchup between a couple of Alberta teams in the third draw of this event. We have today Justin Runciman, local for Edmonton here, and Aaron Sluchinski. A couple Alberta teams. Looking forward to this one. Runciman started this event, played the first round, and had a loss in that game, and looking to rebound from that for sure. And Sluchinski is just going to start his event today with this draw. So looking forward to a good game. Should be lots of action going on. We have what I'm sure will be great ice. It seems like we have great ice for all of our events nowadays. So that's a terrific thing. And we're just a few minutes from getting going here. My name's Jim Nix, and I'm happy to be here with you this afternoon. Teams had a practice before this and would have had a draw to the button, I assume, for Hammer. We're just not sure who that's going to be yet. We'll find out here shortly. I was just waiting for the nod to get this one going. And it looks like the Runciman team will be throwing the first stone here in the first end. We're going to play this one in the house. Over curling a little bit. So lots of swing in the ice today. And Aaron Sluchinski will ask for a corner guard on the other side of the sheet. Yeah, it looks like this one's going to end up in a good spot. Just guarding the edge of the 8-foot. And it looks like Runciman's going back to the center again. Like to be a little closer to the center line, obviously, and probably somewhere around the top of the 4-foot would be my guess. Just kind of pointed over that direction. Karen Skora is, if I'm pronouncing that right, is the lead for the Runciman team. Although the shirt that he's wearing right now says Runciman, so I'm not quite sure if we've got the right person or the right shirt or the right name. But for now, we're going to assume that that's who it is. Fox in a better spot. I'm not sure if he wanted to be in front, but it's a good spot regardless. So that Sluchinski will ask his lead to remove that stone. Good shot. Roll over almost behind the corner. Little correction on what information I gave you early, and that's Sluchinski did play this morning and actually lost to Beaumont. So both teams coming off a loss here in their second game before their second games. So an out turn takeout. Like to roll this one back towards the center line, probably behind that long guy would be perfect. A little error there on part of the Runciman team, so opens things up for Sluchinski to play the out turn come around. Daring. This one's cutting pretty hard. It'll be a little hard pressed to get it by, I think. And a little rub. Went to a good spot, but does leave his yellow counter and wide open in the 8-foot. A lot of ice, so I don't think he's throwing a whole lot of weight on this. I know it's curling a lot, but still, that's more like probably a board weight ice. And another miss. Struggling early here, but it is early. Sluchinski now will come around that center guard. Well, the same way, he moved the red one over a little bit, so he should have a little bit. Probably can put the broom in the same place as on his first shot. A lot more room this time. It should try to move pretty hard right about now. And should be okay. Might peek out the other side a little bit. And it does. Certainly gettable, and probably, depending on if they're even or not, how even they are, it might well be a possibility of a double here. We were starting to go pretty good on it. Got to get it by. No, not going to get it by. Another miss for the Runciman team. That one actually, I think he had a shot at. I think they were just a little bit late. Probably thought it was just Going to stay a little straighter a little bit longer, and just need to get on a little bit sooner. But either way, they're in some trouble for sure now, because Sluchinski now will be playing some sort of a draw tap shot to sit 3. And Justin Runciman's going to have to do something good as moved on here in his last 3 shots or so. Get himself out of trouble. Sluchinski's third, Jeremy Hardy. Going to move these around a little bit, maybe make the double a little bit more of a challenge for Runciman. And he does, I think. I think this double is definitely there. It's the rocks are a little bit further apart than he'd like for this, but certainly makeable. I think they're going to have to go pretty hard on this. That looks pretty close to the center line for just out of his hand. He's going to have a nose hit, I think, yeah. So I get rid of 1 rock, but that doesn't leave him in the greatest position, even at this point. Only good news for him, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Sluchinski to hit and roll to the right-hand side as we look at it here and spread them out a little bit. A little bit of danger of jamming it on his own at the back, but going to throw it pretty solid. Doesn't have a whole lot of ice there, so he can hit it a little closer to the nose and run a little less risk of taking his own out the back. Looked like he might have set it out a little bit from here. Yeah, he's fine. So Runciman's got to figure out a way to, or Runciman rather, has got to figure out a way to get rid of a couple of rocks here. It wouldn't be the end of the world to give up a 2 in the first end, but you'd much rather not give up a 3. Especially since they haven't had to work that hard to get it right now, but a couple of doubles open to him for sure. Not real easy ones, but they are possibilities. Certainly can run that one back at the top of the eye in Fountain and try to make that double. I think he's playing the one that's closer to the center line, just about biting the center line. Looking to make a little bit thinner double. Fairly tough shot, I think. Gotta hit it probably only a quarter of a rock to be able to make sure that you get 2. But definitely there. Turn. Didn't throw it real hard either. You might just be playing a little in-turn hit and flop, although that's going to be a little bit tough. Problem with that is you're not anything. You're really just number 3. You have a very usable rock, admittedly. That's the good news for Runciman. Definitely in a good spot. So Sluchinski will look to spread these out a little bit. Go probably full 8 foot on the other side of the sheet. So it'll be all right as we look at it here. Looking to score multiple points here in the first end. Just watching this one, but starting to clean it up a little bit, so the weight might be okay. No, it looks like it's going to be pretty heavy. They really need to get this one out. And they do. Big break for Runciman for sure. And now actually has a chance to, depending on how brave he is, to possibly just tap that in straight back, sit right on the yellow for shot. It's one option. Other option will be to play a run back to that yellow or a run back to the other yellow. It should really not a run back. It's only about a 2 or 4 foot raised takeout, really. But those are kind of the options right now. First end, I don't know if he would take on just a little tap. I think that's you got to get a lot of things right, including the amount of ice you're going to need combined with the amount of weight you're going to need. And if you bump this out into the open or anything, then it's just not good at all. So I suspect he's going to play some kind of a raise takeout on this shot. And it looks like he's put the broom down in a position where, again, you're going to be somewhere around that board weight, maybe up a hair from that, but not much. Big shot here in the first end. A good chance to get, if not totally out of trouble, certainly well on his way to being out of trouble. So final rock for Justin Runciman. Really nice release out of his hand. Looked really good. He's got to curl a long way, though. Got to curl a long way. And pretty much what he was trying to do, really. I think that's about, the best he could really get out of that, was particularly playing that shot, assuming he was doing that and not trying to get the back one. I think the back one was way too risky. So nice curl at the end there on that shot. He threw it really well, and he's going to force Aaron Sluchinski to draw for 2. Never real excited about giving up 2, but I think the Runciman team would take that right now. This end really didn't go their way. They had some of those first end misses that you get when you haven't really got a feel for the ice and all that kind of stuff. So they won't be too disappointed to get out of this with just a deuce. But Aaron hasn't made it yet, so let's make him make it before we give him the 2. This looks pretty good. Guys are really just cleaning it. A little bit of a brush here and there, so should be pretty good. And sure enough, it slides into the 4 foot. And no surprise, Sluchinski picks up his 2 here in the first end. And we will take a short break and be back with you in just a minute.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
What you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Asham Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at asham.com.
Yeah. Mine's so short. Mine's just an IX at the end. Jim
Yep,
Nix.
nice and simple. Jim Nix, yep.
Okay, and welcome back to the second end here at the at the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Major game between Aaron Sluchinski and Justin Runciman. Sluchinski picked up 2 in the first end to go up 2-0, and I'm pleased to welcome Ryan Jacques along with me for the remainder of the game. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Quite welcome. It's a pleasure. So as I mentioned, I don't know if you saw the first end, but Runciman's team struggled a little bit in the first end, had a few fairly easy misses, and I guess all misses are easy, but misses that you wouldn't expect, and I would think they'll turn it around a little bit here in the second end. So
For sure, yeah. It's caught a little bit of the end of last end, and yeah, everyone's still getting a bit warmed up, getting a feel for the ice, but I feel like we'll have a really good middle part of this game here.
Yeah, for sure. Fairly familiar. I'm fairly familiar with the Sluchinski team from last year. I think he played a lot of the slams and those sorts of events, and saw him around quite a bit. Runciman, not so much. I don't really know much about them, but that's like a lot of good teams across the country that you just don't know. So
For sure, but you got to watch out for this Runciman team. You know, they're up and coming for sure.
Yeah.
They can surprise you, make lots of good shots.
yeah, that's good. So the guard for Sluchinski curled a little bit too far, but I think he'd be terribly unhappy with that. So Sluchinski is playing, I'm thinking, another corner guard. That last one went really over a little bit further than you like to see it. Lots of curl on the ice here today, Ryan. It looks like it's going like probably 6 feet across the sheet.
Yeah, it seems to be really swinging.
And that's a good spot. It's hard to get it to stop.
Yeah, just keeps on going.
Yeah, and still made its way out almost to the full 12 foot.
Totally, yeah. It can get hard to manage a bit when you have 6 feet, so I wonder if we'll see any of the players trying to play around with how much rotation or spin they're throwing on their shots.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
little more spin, of course, can hold it straighter, so we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly one option for sure. And you are right. It does when you start to get up over. I love lots of curl. I've always loved lots of curl. I haven't played at a lot of the clubs I played at haven't had a whole lot of curl, but once it does get up into that pushing 6 feet stuff, it's a challenge if you're not somebody that's playing on that all the time for sure.
Absolutely, yep. Well, I'd rather have 6 feet of curl than 1 foot of curl. It's called curling for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. So Sluchinski's playing a come around the center guard again, right on top of the one in the almost on the button. Real good shot for Kyle Deering, I think that was. Yeah. So Sluchinski will look to clean this up a little bit. You can see he has very little ice here. Just going to run that front one back and hope to get rid of a couple.
If he hits it just right, I think he can make them all fly here. Really close. Yeah. We'll see.
No turn with solid weight, not real big weight, but solid weight. Not going to quite get enough, I don't think. Well, those are the ones that kind of hurt you a little bit. You have sort of an out there like that. Those rocks are not very far apart, and if you can get a solid piece of that rock, like get almost the nose of that rock, you're going to get rid of probably a couple for sure. So that's a tough miss.
Yeah. Still got some time here. We'll see what happens.
So another guard going back up for Sluchinski. On the one sweeper for this rock.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, real good shot. I don't think he has much choice but to still try to clean this up and hopefully get a crack at the rocks in the house.
Yeah, agreed for sure. give it a try. If you only peel, that's okay. But you got to eventually move those rocks in the house.
That's right. That's a better spot for him if he gets a chance to use it as far as the corner goes.
Yeah, that's true. You have 3 in a row there. You get something behind there, it's gone. It's lost behind those guards.
Yeah. That was going to be a hard one to get more than just that front one because he did put the guard in a good spot that time. It was out far enough that making the run back ran the risk of leaving your shooter right there, which wouldn't have been helpful.
Yeah, it was a super nice spot there. I always get a little bit worried with higher guards because you have to have the line just right. You know, if you over curl a bit, all of a sudden there's room, as you know, to just come in with a lighter weight takeout. Yeah. So you got to be extra precise, but they did a wonderful job of taking away that run back and making it more difficult. And look at that, right back where it was.
Yeah, same thing. So we'll see what he likes to do. If he likes to take a run at running it back, or if he just wants to peel it off again. Still got a lot of rocks to come, so you still have some time if you want to just play the straight peel. But at some point, you will probably have to do something a little more aggressive than that. So the interim peel coming up. Looked like he let it go pretty good, pretty much online. You get something off of these other rocks, maybe? No, not quite. Almost though.
That would have been pretty sweet to spin it in.
Yeah. Something you always got to be looking for. It's, these teams obviously are pretty aware and they're not going to miss something like that. I know in club curling sometime, or even a little bit more than club curling, but not quite to this level, people tend to forget about the little extra sometimes you can get from shots that you may not think of if you're not paying attention to that possibility.
For sure, yeah.
So Garrett going back up again this time for Jeremy Harty. This one's got some work to do to get over there, though.
It looks like it. They weren't too worried, though, halfway down. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess they had figured out pretty good yet.
Yeah, that's almost exactly the same 3 times in a row. That's really impressive.
Yeah, we were the only ones worrying about it getting over there far enough. So.
Yep.
I think you got just about time to take a crack at running this straight back, I think.
Yeah, I think you got to try. And if you're a little off, you're going to peel it anyways. So
yeah,
might as well.
No, he's looking at playing a freeze in there, sort of just a T-line shot. They're pretty aggressive.
Do you think there's room with all the curl to get through that hole? Like between the left red and the top 8 yellow? It's a pretty tight hole there.
Yeah, I think you're right because you're only throwing T-line weight. So I think it would be a challenge to miss that red one and not over curl, if you will.
Yeah.
We'll see what he gets here.
It'd be a really good shot if you can make it in there.
Yeah, I don't see how I'd be surprised if he can get to that back one. He might be able to corner freeze the front one, but that might not do you a ton of good. This might be a little bit warm. Got a curl. Well, he moved some rocks around. Maybe gave himself something to play with.
He opened up the intern draw, which is nice. You know, the corner guards could have been used earlier in the end, but after the midway point, it was kind of just blocking that draw for one. So now there's a bit more room to do that.
Yeah, excellent point.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, he didn't really have an easy way in there for the last 3 or 4 shots. I don't know if I love that call, though. I think that was going to be always going to be a very difficult shot to pull off, and unless you made it perfect, I don't think it was terribly helpful. So,
yeah.
But you get a little nervous sometimes standing in the house thinking, well, it would be nice to get one in here. So Aaron Sluchinski now will play the same shot, really, just to come around. I think he's trying to go right around to the top of the 8-foot, but he wouldn't be too disappointed with a straight guard. This one's to the point it's going to break here. Guys are going pretty hard. Maybe. Well, pretty good shot.
Did he get it there for third shot?
No, I don't think so.
Yellow sitting 2.
Yeah, I think it's still 2.
Still a pretty good shot.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's a real good shot. Yeah, and I think it, it leaves that same shot for Justin, that kind of in-turn come around freeze, but he's maybe at a point where he doesn't have a choice now. So the good thing is he has a little more room to work with, as you mentioned last time. Like he doesn't have that same worry now. He can count on the hole being big enough. It's hard to believe you got to look at a 4-foot hole and wonder if it's going to be big enough. But
for sure, yep.
Yeah.
I think this is his best bet now. One thing I like about him trying the freeze on this one is even if he doesn't make it perfectly, it's kind of like a practice draw for the second one. So now he knows what speed he needs to throw to get it right on the tee line, get the 1 point, and then restart for next end. Live to see another day.
Yeah. That's not going to work out too good.
No.
Wow. He wasn't terrible for weight, so it has to make me believe that either he's turning those in a little bit, or turn something like that in a little bit, or he's just not giving enough rotation to get it to stay out to where it needs to be. Because he had a little bit light there, but he wasn't horribly light.
Yeah, it looks to me like pretty low spin on that one. I think he got out to the broom mid-12, and that's about 7 feet of curl that we just saw there.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that point, it's hard to control the rock. Like even if you threw it good, just give it a bit more spin. Make sure you can hold the line.
Yeah.
But now he knows what to do for the last shot, so that's the main thing. If you're only going to play 50%, just make your last one.
Yeah, yeah, you can win a lot of games curling 50% if you make the last one every time.
Oh, yeah.
What do you like here? This is an interesting call for Sluchinski, too.
Yeah, well, he's a bit worried, of course, about the draw to the button, but also where Justin's rock just landed, he can slash that in and give up only 1. And if he hits it just right, he might even be able to double those yellows out and score 1 or 2 if that red one's closer. I can't quite tell.
Yeah.
So he's trying to kind of do a double shot, I think, here. Split the yellow, block both ways in.
I think he settled on basically coming right in and around there and trying to be full 8-foot or partial 8-foot and just kind of make Justin's shot that much harder.
Yeah, exactly. Put some pressure on.
Yeah, I think you're right that outturn raise takeout there, outturn double is there, but I think that's pretty tough, and I think you just got to leave that if you're Brzezinski at this point. Although this shot we'd not be happy with this shot.
Yeah.
I think it's
tough to get 1, or can you hit that on the nose and get 1?
Yeah, I think he can hit it on the nose and get 1. And either way, I think he's got a lot better chance of getting 1 now than he did before Aaron threw that. I think that draw was going to be really, really tough. Not that this is easy, because you got to match up. When ice is curling this much, the challenge is to match up the ice with the weight, really. And that's the difficulty, and you got to figure that out. But I like my chances better now than I did a minute ago if I was throwing the last one. So
for sure, yep.
So it looks like with that ice, probably a hack weight kind of shot, maybe somewhere in there. I don't think too much more. If you get too much more, it might run a little straight on you. So big shot again. No, he had a big shot in the first end. We actually made it and kept the Aaron's team down to a 2, which was really an achievement in that end. And now he's got an opportunity to score here, which didn't look like that for a little while. So, big shot in the game.
Oh yeah, let's see what he's got here. He's really gotten these pressure shots.
Yeah.
Looked like a pretty nice throw there.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to curl long ways.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was just overthrown, I think, really on that shot. So we're just gonna have a look here before we move to break to see if we're sitting 3 or 4. Definitely 3. Either one of them is not a good score for Runciman, but yeah. So I think they're going to measure for the 4th one. Never good when you're down 2-0 and they're measuring for 4 on you in the next end. That's never a good sign. But
yeah, it's unfortunate.
I think you're right. I think he looked like he threw it quite well. Actually, I thought he threw it well, and just overthrew it just a little bit.
Yeah, with this much curl, it can get in your head a bit for sure. Like
absolutely,
and there was more room on the outside there. Like if he's a little bit inside, he hits the top 12 yellow, and it's a 4 anyways. But he could hit like 2/3 of a rock on the outside, still get give up 1 point.
Yeah.
So that was probably in his head a little bit, but you got to just fully commit to the shot and go for the make.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little scarier.
I think it's red.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. So that would be 5-0 for Sluchinski after 2 here.
And we will go to a short break and be back with you at the start of the 3rd end.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Yep.
Sounds good.
And we're back here for the 3rd end of our game between Aaron Sluchinski and Justin Runciman. And we had to leave there just before they posted the score, and it ended up being a steal of 3 for Sluchinski in the 2nd end, and a pretty commanding 5-0 lead here early on. But lots of curl, Brian, lots of stuff, lots of opportunities to get back in it here.
For sure, Jim. Yeah, it's a tough start for Runciman, but lots of ends left. You can just get a deuce back here, and then we'll go a long way to building some momentum.
So he's got a corner guard that he can work with, and corner guards maybe a little bit long, but it's hard to get them perfect. And the ice is curling so much, so I think you want those corner guards to be fairly tight. Looks pretty good here. Just on the overhead, it looks like it's a little bit long, but pretty nice spot. So now turn come around for the Sluchinski team. And that's a pretty good shot. They've had pretty good control of the draw right from the start here. And Runciman shaking his head a little bit, I'm sure. So he's going to play that come around. And he's got about 6 feet of curl. So no shortage of curl.
And with that much curl, kind of as we were saying last end, you got to be careful with the guards because you can easily come around and make a lightweight takeout when there's that much weight. Like we're probably going to see Sluchinski chase this red one, I'm sure, here.
Yeah.
So
good example there. Just kind of like you mentioned the last hand, we were looking at the draw, trying to make that draw, and I mean he only went by that yellow one by a couple of inches or so, and pretty much fully buried behind the corner guard. That's a lot of curl in not very much distance. You know, it was only, what is that? Probably 6, 7, 8 feet maybe, and got about 3 feet of curl from there to there. That's pretty good. Kyle Deering now playing the outturn hit, down weight hit. Working hard. Sweeper's going pretty hard, and I think he's going to get it by. Nice job. Well done.
You got a roll too. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, a really nice throw. So Runciman going to play the outturn hit. Can't play him. You've had a little trouble getting going here, so you'd kind of like to keep things a little bit simpler. Maybe. It's hard to do when it's 5-0, but at the same time, it's sometimes just mentally, you just need something a little bit less difficult to manage for an end or so.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Jim. Again, it is a long way back on the scoreboard, but they just have to get some momentum going, and you're not going to get an easy deuce by playing difficult shots because the other team, they're just going to be playing peels, open hits, that sort of thing. Oh my goodness.
That actually worked out not terribly bad. It didn't quite bury, but it almost did.
And yeah, they got some good guards up. They can even use that yellow center guard potentially, Team Runciman. So I think they can afford to keep it a bit simpler this end.
Yeah. So Deering again with the outturn. Maybe a little heavier. Sweeper's going to try to make this one curl a little bit.
Where'd Aaron Sluchinski go?
I don't know. I don't know if he's not feeling 100% or we just had to, what are they saying, the Tour de France had to take a natural break or something like that.
That would be my guess, yeah.
Yeah.
He was there throwing the last rocks in the second end.
Oh, yeah. No, he was definitely here. So, yeah. The ghost of Aaron Sluchinski.
Yes.
So we got that intern hit coming up now for the Runciman team. They really need to make one here, make one good shot, and just put a little bit of the pressure back on the other team for a little while, maybe. This looks pretty good if he can hold it. Oh, just going to roll a little too far. A better effort, though. Not too far from making that one.
That was pretty close.
Yeah.
Just looking on the overhead, that yellow's in a pretty good spot, I would say, because it's tough to come around the red corner guard, be fully buried, and be sitting one. So the yellow's in a pretty good spot there.
Yeah. I don't know how much it curls coming from the outside. If it curls like that same amount or not, but might be worth a try. I guess you could come around on the outturn and take 5 feet of ice and try to come around that way.
Right. Yeah.
But you're right. I don't think you're going to be able to get by the red guard and make the draw. You're going to have to throw it to the back of the house or the hack even maybe to get it to stay straight enough for you there. I guess we might find out if it was doable here. No, he's playing the hit back here. That's right. Forgot. It's a good shot. Nice, smooth. So Justin's going to try to play the outturn around the corner guard. I think. Or maybe not. Okay, it looks like he settled on the draw. Outturn draw. I think this is the smarter shot. I know that Like we said a minute ago, you'd like to keep it a little simpler, but you can only keep it so simple. And I don't know that, it would have made sense to hit the back one for sure. That just wouldn't have been very beneficial. So the out turn come around now. Really needs to bury this one. It needs to bury it fairly high because it does have a lot of room to come by the guard. So it's hanging out again. Well, they all hang out and then hook hard. So it could maybe be a little deep, but yeah, just a little too much. Good effort, but 5-6 feet too heavy. Well, and Aaron's back.
Oh, thank goodness. I was getting worried.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to have to go to the rule book there for a couple minutes. Did you ever think about just peeling the corner guard maybe here? Or is it late enough in the end that doesn't feel like necessary?
Yeah, with this much curl and the yellow one being top 8, like it's hard to come around that red guard and still be shot rock. So I think they can afford to put a bit more pressure on Runciman. And like you were saying before, if you do peel that red guard, all of a sudden there's more room now to come around with the in-turn draw. So.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I'd say leave it for now, but you can always hit it on Aaron's shots if you need to.
We're going to see if this, I guess they're playing this, probably looks like a little bit short. That's the difficulty in playing that shot. It's just like we said a couple times now, or a few times now, it's just difficult to come by the red. He did come by the red by a fair bit, so it could have held it out there a little longer and maybe been able to make that shot, but pretty tough. So just going to play the out turn takeout, hopefully roll a little bit behind the guards. Be a little careful of your Sluchinski here, because if he does make this good, then all of a sudden there's a couple of red ones in there, and you may not be looking at scoring a lot, but he might have a chance to pick up a couple or maybe even a 3 here down the road. This one's got to stay though first. It's not going to work. So he gets the hit, but still going to be sitting number 3. Just having a hard time matching all up. Sorry, is that Ryan?
Oh, sorry. Just said still got some work to do. What were you saying there?
No, I don't even know. It's fine. Okay, so what do you do here?
Yeah, well, first I'd ask myself, what is Runciman going to do here on the next shot? I'm not sure what they would do. They could even use that top 12 yellow as a guard, do a really wide come around on the outside of the red corner guard and really sink it in there. They could draw through the middle, like through the whole of those yellows as well, kind of an out turn through there. Yeah. So this is definitely the safe call, just get rid of that red, because they could also play a double takeout on those yellows, and all of a sudden they're getting 2.
If we get a couple, yeah. No, you're right about that. Definitely a thin double, but a makeable double. So I think if he makes this, then you'll either see Runciman play that double or one of the 2 draws. And I don't know exactly if they're possible, but I think they are. Certainly the out turn, I think you can come around.
I think the out turn for sure. The in turn's really precise. So.
Yeah, the in turn you'd have to hope you could hold it out there long enough.
Yeah. I guess the out turn's pretty precise too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the out turn, you definitely have more room. I mean, you have whatever that is. You have probably 4 feet from the edge of the circle to that rock, and this side you only have 3 feet. And then when you see how much they curl, it does make you wonder. So he's looking at intern, though. He might be just a personal preference, really. Sometimes it's just a skip, just likes throwing one shot over the other.
Yeah. I think I like this shot. I know it's a bit wider than they've maybe thrown before, but I think he has the most room to work with, and that's a big part of this for sure.
Yeah. I don't think he can come to the back one. I think if he goes to the back one, he's going to be just number 2. Yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah.
So that's, not super helpful, but.
And if he's too high in the house, Aaron's going to have a really easy run back. So he might want to take this even past the tee line if he can.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if it's going to stay out there long enough for him to make this. If he's just assuming he's throwing, he really just wants it like a tee line kind of weight.
Yeah.
And whether or not the weight's still the same out there.
I think that's a bit more spin than we saw in the last end, so this should hold nicely.
I think you're right. I think he's added a little bit almost every end here, just trying to get it to stay there. It's just not happening. Now, that was pretty light.
Yeah.
Probably didn't even make the 12-foot, so just probably maybe a little bit heavier out there. Yeah, I'm really been out there.
Makes sense. Yeah. Always a bit of a guess, and for line too, you never know if the sheet shape changes direction a bit. And, maybe it'll fall off towards the boards a bit and not curl as much.
Yeah. Just trying to put it all together there. I think maybe if he'd had, because he really needed another 6 to 8 feet of weight, probably, maybe even a little hair more than that. And if he'd added that on, he might well have been able to get by the guard. He basically hit about half the guard. I think it definitely was a possibility.
Yep.
So here's Sluchinski now going to throw the outturn. What mounts to an outturn come around. I'm not sure how deep he wants to go, but I think he'd be fairly happy with something just above the tee line. This one's
I think that's what he'll be going for.
It looks like he's going to be pretty heavy.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I think that picked.
I'll tell you what, it did something because that just, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're cleaning the ice now.
Yeah. Anyway, how come when you're down 5-0, you never get picks like that?
Yeah, curling's not fair that way.
No, that was definitely definitely a little unfair on that one for sure. I mean, the pick's bad enough, but it's just to stop it's bad enough, but it's like dead buried and perfect.
Yeah, really.
So now I think if you're Runciman, you're looking at, I don't know, you're looking at the inter draw through the port on the Reds, or you're looking at a draw one way or the other through this mass of rocks in the center of the sheet, which would be very, very tough.
Oh my, yeah, that's super tough. I think I would. Oh, the Red's a little more over now too. I might try to just follow Sluchinski down, and you won't hopefully get the same pick, but I think there's enough room there that you could, and enough curl at the end, you can get shot rock.
I think you're right. And if there was a way to get the same pick, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's still there. But they did a pretty good job cleaning it, I think.
Looks to me like I'm just guessing by what they're doing with their brooms here, but makes me think he's coming through, outturning through that port.
Yeah, I think that could be a good shot as well. Not a lot of room, but neither is the wide draw. So
no.
And another part of this too, like he could not very much, but he could run into the top 12 yellow and spin a little bit towards the button. So he's got a bit of room there to work with. But you don't want to hit it so thick that you run into the top 8 yellow on the right.
Yeah, pretty tough shot to be thrown when you're already down as many as he's down, but whatever, you got to throw it. So it'd be nice if he can make it. I'm kind of with you though. I'm not sure that the outturn around all that stuff, the same shot that Aaron just played, although it's going to be very difficult to get it to snap in there enough to get shot. I still think that might be the better option. I'm not in love with this one.
Yeah. Well, this one's kind of, you're giving up 3 or 4, or you're going to score. What I like about the wide draw is even if you don't make it, if you get close, at least you're keeping the game going.
The problem here is there's just no good option. Sometimes, you have a couple of decent options and it's hard to decide, but there's just aren't any real good ones here. So he's just trying to pick the least bad one, I guess, or least difficult one. And they're just all a bit of a challenge. So we'll see what he's decided. Looks like maybe the same thing he was calling in the first place, because the third doesn't seem to be moving anywhere different. Yeah. So this must be a draw through the port. It's going to be hard to make this. If you get through the port, there's no guarantee that it still doesn't overcurl. But get through the port's job one, I guess, and then figure out what happens after that.
For sure. I think he's going to be close on this one.
Okay.
Well, they're calling heavy early on.
Well, I think he's okay.
This was looking really close. Yeah.
Just for a little rub. Wow, that was a heck of an effort.
Oh.
That was a heck of an effort. That was a great try. And it just, if he had been able to just get another, half an inch of rub, maybe not half, even a quarter inch of rub, might well have gotten a shot rock. So real good effort for Runciman on his last shot, but unfortunately Sluchinski steals one and goes up 6-0 here at the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Major with Curling Stadium Beaumont.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Yeah.
We're back here at the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Major, presented by Curling Stadium Beaumont, and we're having what's become a bit of a difficult match here for the Runciman team, particularly. They just haven't been able to kind of match everything up, and trailing Aaron Sluchinski by 6-0 playing the fourth end, but still 5 ends to go, and on ice that has as much curl as we have out here. If you can just kind of turn it up a notch and find the right weight for the right shots, and there is a chance that you can get back in this a little bit. So Justin Runciman had played a great shot his last shot, the last end. It just those are just those 2-foot holes are just hard to manage your way through them without hitting one of them or having to throw it too hard to make it work. So the corner guard draws, again, over a little bit further than he would like it. Like a couple times Ryan mentioned that, those corner guards sometimes take the draw pathway, but I don't think I don't think you have much choice. I think those corner guards have to be a little bit tighter than where this one is, for example. It's just out there a little bit further than I think you really want to be, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. Sluchinski's now playing the intern draw. Intern come around. He's got the guard out there, and he'll come right in, probably top of 4 foot with this one.
Yeah, just to add on to that there, Jim. So I guess corner guards do that, but as long as you leave the other side open for yourself,
Yeah.
it's mostly good. I guess
Yeah,
that's something teams got to keep in mind.
Yeah, hence the double guard game that we see sometimes in the upper echelons of curling for sure. So we got another corner guard going up, just trying to move it over a little bit from where that one is. It's a problem with it when you drop it out there like that, and I don't know if it's ice or if it's the way the individual throws it, but it just you kind of a wasted rock now because now you're throwing a corner guard to be where you hope the first one would have been. so it's just
Right. Yeah.
So you hate to have that happen and just kind of waste one a little bit. Mind you, you do have 2 to go by now, and if you get by the first one and it curls a little bit too much, then you're behind something still. So that's not so bad. So Sluchinski, I assume, will still be going back in the house on this. I didn't quite catch that. I was watching the other rock. But I can't see him throwing anywhere other than going in. So we'll see what he plays. In turn for Kyle During. So he's staying out there pretty good. Just going to be a little shorter. Doesn't hurt him any. So Runciman's going to try to clean it up again. We mentioned the last end that this is these are ones that somebody's got to make one for you, just to kind of keep things open. If you can make a double here and just roll over there by your corners, you have a pretty good side to work with if you get the chance.
For sure, yeah. You got to deal with that top 8 rock at some point. So might as well do that now if you can.
This one's going to over curl a little bit. Going to hold on? No, it's going to roll out of play. So
I know they would have liked that one to stick around so they could use it as a nice tight corner guard now. Less to work with, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's difficult when you're down. Like those half shots are really kind of killers. So we got an out-turn peel coming up, or Daring, or maybe it's an in-turn peel, but maybe he's playing the in-turn peel. Sorry, I haven't seen a Tucker yet that can't play that shot well.
Yeah, really, they're pretty good at those.
Yeah. So we got the intern come around rather. Runciman team just hasn't been able to make any of these real good. You know, they're around it, but they just haven't been able to kind of get them exactly where they need to be to pose a problem or much of a problem for the Sluchinski team yet. This one might be it. Looks like the weight's real nice.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I know they had a really close one last end, but Kyle was able to chase and hit it out.
Yeah, this one's definitely gettable too, but
it's a new path though, way out wide. Like I said last end, you never quite know what it's going to do out there.
That's right.
If it ever curls extra, you could hit the red guard at an angle. It could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, did I jinx him?
Yeah, you might have called it.
Oh, my.
Holy cow.
Oh, Jeremy's not going to like that one.
No, he's not. But nice to know that you are actually future predictive kind of person. We don't really need to jump right to the end here and post it up. We're good.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'll tell you what, that's the good part of that, though, to be honest, not to wish anybody bad luck, but is that it gives Runciman a chance to hit and sit three and maybe start to feel like you're still in the curling game a little bit better too. So out turn hit here. Should be good. Looks pretty good. Well, he's got enough weight that he doesn't over curl. And will he stay? I think he will. Maybe.
Oh.
No.
Oh, super close.
Yeah. Well, still pretty good, though. He's got two about as far apart as you can get them. And there's a guard there, but that's I don't think Aaron's going to be trying too hard to roll 8 feet behind a guard.
For sure, yeah.
Just put it here and hit it and roll in to be even shot rock. It doesn't even have to be shot, but shot would be about all you'd have to have.
Well, after the start, I don't think Runciman will be too disappointed in getting a deuce here.
No. So you're going to split the house. Probably makes sense. It's I don't know if you still have a chance to use that guard or not. You probably could. You could say, well, I'm going to come around the guard and assume that Aaron's going to hit the open one and come around the guard again with a chance to set up a three. You're going to have a little bit of luck on your side, but there is a possibility of getting three. This way, really only a chance to get two. But when you haven't scored,
sure, it's an interesting thing to think about because three would obviously help a lot more when you're down 6.
Yeah.
But there's also the danger, you're grouping the Reds closer together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then maybe Aaron makes a double, and you're like, well, now we're not even getting 2. That could be tough, but it puts a little more pressure on Aaron to come around the guard.
No, you're absolutely correct on that. It's you do run a risk when you come around the guard. Just you gotta make it perfect, and then you have to have them maybe not make something quite perfect. And then, go from there. But anyway, Sluchinski now throwing the out turn hit with the open rock, and even with that weight, he's getting some curl. But that's about how hard you have to throw it if you're going to try to make them stay straight out there.
That certainly seems that way, yeah.
Yeah. Now, a lot of guys wouldn't hit this. A lot of guys would just play the draw, but just down in the neighborhood of it and go from there. But Justin's decided he'd rather play the hit. It's personal choice, I think.
Yes, whichever one you're going to make, they're both the same outcome.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. The right shot's the one you make. Crucial to stay here, though. Absolutely has to stay.
Yeah. And if he does, I feel like Aaron will hit this one again. He might be a little bit worried about that jam on the left side. So he'll probably just keep it simple, give him the deuce.
Yeah, Aaron's not going to do anything difficult. That's not a lot of weight on this one. I think it's going to be perfect. Well swept. Really well swept and nose hit. Sitting 2.
Ooh, looks like he's going to go for that long roll right behind the center guard. It's a long way to go, but I guess you might as well try on the last shot for Sluchinski here.
Yeah, there's no harm in doing it as long as you just make sure you hit that first one.
Yep, exactly.
Pretty firm weight. I just got to try to make it curl a little bit. It's going to be in the neighborhood, I think. Right? Not going to roll far enough. No, good effort. Good try. Like we say, why not give it a go? As long as you make sure you don't do anything silly and miss that one, it's no reason not to try. And you've forced Justin to make a hit and stay first, too. I understand Justin's an ice maker here in the Edmonton area, and they have a pretty interesting little sort of cooperative group amongst the ice makers, which sounds interesting. I don't know enough of the story to know more about it, but it sounds like it's a great little, almost like a little association kind of thing happening. So,
Sweet.
so an out-turn hit, probably be about the same weight he threw the last shot rather. I think this looks pretty good. Can't really see it, but judging by the sweepers, well
That's
done.
a nice one.
Yeah, good shot by Justin Runciman, and picks up a couple at the end of 4 ends. We've got Sluchinski with a lead of 6-2 over Runciman. We will be back for the second half here shortly.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
When I'm updating the rocks, I can also see on that screen.
Okay. So we're back. Pretty short break there. The guys are anxious to get at it. Runciman team, after picking up a couple, figures like, well, let's keep going. So they picked up a couple, and I don't trail by a 6-2 score here against Aaron Sluchinski. It's been a challenge, but it was a nicely played end for the Runciman team here, and hopefully they can build a little bit on that. They got a lot of work to do in the second half to get back in it totally, but you never know. Curling's a funny game.
For sure, and well, they're still alive after this game, so the longer you go, the more practice shots you get in, if nothing else, and you go into the next game more confident. But all you need to do is steal one each end to get back into it. So
that's right.
Put some pressure on Aaron, maybe get him throwing a draw against 2 or 3, and you never know.
So Runciman throws up a guard. Sluchinski comes around it, and Runciman is now going to come around it as well. I just think it is possible. Some teams might go ahead and throw up a second guard and figure like it's time to really kind of go caution to the wind here and go hard. But he's going to just go with the one for now. And that's going to come up short. Kind of end up with that second guard. It would have been, for him, it would be better if it was a little bit closer to the center line, but he's got 2 to work with and see what goes. So Sluchinski now playing the same shot. The outturn come around. It's a difference, I guess, in how guys throw, because this is, you wouldn't think that this would probably be enough ice even for this outturn come around, but compared to what we've seen so far. But appears he's going to be okay. Except he's heavy.
Oh.
Well, it's back there. Certainly not where we would want it, but
Yeah, Runciman's got some room to work with now.
he does, yeah. He's going to go in turn. Got to make sure you get out to the broom on this one. Runciman second stone is I have as Griffin Algot. Looks pretty good so far. They all look good early. It's just about now when they start to curl that they start to look a little iffy. Can you get it by? No, he's not going to get by. Just not enough weight.
Well, Silver Linings moved that high guard to a better spot.
Yeah, that's true.
Closer to the center line. Interesting, he's coming around here.
So Sluchinski's going to try to go down the same way that Runciman did. Or Runciman did, rather. Oh, would I get that? Calgary in turn come around.
Well, it's a bit of a risk reward here. You make this shot good, you're going to kind of put the game away potentially. But if you're a little bit heavy or even light, like Runciman could definitely take advantage. Get a nice steal. So that's a nice looking spot.
It is. They're playing playing the freezer, I guess. But he does have some stuff to work with this end, anyways, Runciman. So, certainly, Aaron chose to leave stuff around there. He could have actually moved some rocks on that one if he wanted to, and he didn't want to. So, he's going to maybe give Runciman a chance to get one in here where it might not be readily accessible. See how the weight is on this one. Griffin was a little light on his first one. This looks pretty good. It doesn't bounce off too much. That's a much better effort.
Ooh, that's a good angle. Good team shot there.
Yeah, it's a good shot. So Sluchinski's going to play the freeze.
He's getting into it here for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe not now. I would have thought the last shot they would have done this, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. The irony is by playing it now, then you do open up the red one for Runciman too. So,
yeah.
But I think this makes more sense.
Just keep it simple. No need to take on unnecessary risk here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't need to shake hands after the fifth end.
No, that's right. Well, we're going to have a chat about it, though. Probably looking at whether or not you want to play straight peel or if you want to run it back into the other red guard just to kind of eventually get rid of some of this stuff in front.
Yeah, that would be a good shot to get rid of both of those. I guess a little bit of danger if you run the red back onto the yellow one.
Yeah.
Maybe you can clip the one on the button if you get really unlucky. But
yeah.
It's tough to do.
Well, you are right, though. There does carry a little bit of risk, but
I guess that's up to whoever's holding the broom to, maybe give just a little extra ice to make sure, or call the line extra safe.
Yeah.
Go hard even if you think it's clean.
So playing the double peel here. Lots of weight. And he looks like he's going to be certainly in the neighborhood.
Wow, that's a heckin' shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that was exactly the plan, but it certainly worked out good. That changes the end around a little bit, doesn't it? And Runciman, who was sort of looking like he was maybe in not too bad a shape here, is now in some trouble.
Totally, yeah.
4 rocks each to come, though.
Well, and even that yellow Sluchinski top 8 rock, that's in a really good spot. Yeah, you'd think you'd want it to be fully buried, but it's a little bit open, which means he can use it. So if Runciman freezes on the corner of the yellow, he could later in the end, maybe not right now, but he could do a lighter weight hit and get that out of there.
Yeah,
It's
just
a really
slash.
good result.
No, you're right.
What do you think, Jim? What's the play for Runciman here?
Well, if it's me, I think that I don't have time to start to move any more yellow rocks, so I'm going to play the out-turn freeze, I think, to the one on the button. And I know it sets it up maybe for that slash in there, but I think they're considering whether or not they want to play a hit. And I think I don't know. I just don't think that's going to work out all that good for you. So it's not very easy to start with, and you're still probably going to leave one or two yellows, and they're throwing. I think I'm going to be playing the out-turn, the in-turn come around, but they're not playing that. Obviously, they're playing some kind of some kind of a hit. Just maybe moving something back, or do you think, Ryan? Maybe moving that back to the back of the house, and leaving yours there?
I feel like they're trying to get almost to nose and then kind of split the two yellows just behind the tee line. It would be a good shot. Very precise to get that line just right. That would be a good shot too. But
yeah,
I agree with you, Jim. I think I would lean towards that out turn corner freeze. That might be your best bet to set something up.
So we got an intern tap of some sort, some kind, coming down here, and the guys are sweeping pretty hard. If he gets by, well, he's get by. Okay. Well, certainly not a bad shot. Better result than I thought maybe he could get, but
yeah, I think he might have been a little happier hitting it just a bit more on the outside, so you could roll that yellow outside of the guard, maybe even behind the tee line. That would have been a really good result, because now he has to deal with that yellow again.
It'd be an interesting last few shots here, though, because with Sluchinski peeling that, now if you're Runciman, I think I keep screwing up his name. I'll try not to do that. Runciman. Now, do you play this now, or do you throw a guard and see what he does on his next one?
Yeah, that's the question for sure. We see lots of cat and mouse in curling games. Play the guard, play the peel, and at least you got to try to figure out when the other team is going to make their move and try to go one shot before that. So that's what they're going to be thinking about. And I'm not sure what the right course of action would be here. I think I'd guard for sure on this one, but
I agree. I think the guard's the call here, and then if he peels it off, then I think you probably are going to have to think about playing the straight back to sit, probably two if you make it good, because you'll get the back one. So that might be the way you have to go. I think it's too early to try that now, because they're going to be pretty close together almost no matter what you do, and you set up a double really with no chance to steal is the problem. It's not even so much that you might give up more than one. You can't afford to give up even one, so that doesn't work out very well, though.
Oh, that really warped over at the end.
Yeah, I truly don't know what they're doing on those rocks that end up just curling 2 or 3 feet more than every other rock curls. So I just have to believe it's something to do with releases. It just would seem to me that would be the case. Well, an interesting call here. He goes to behind the corner. Some might suggest just go ahead and hit the red one. I think that's what I would be doing.
Yeah, keep it simple that way. Even if Runciman makes that hit and roll behind the red guard, then you always have the forefoot to draw to.
It's tempting to do other things just because you have the guy in trouble, and you got to, like you said, you do have a chance to end it. But sometimes you get you start to rush a little bit to get to the end, and you don't get to the end. So I think that I think this is a better shot with a 6-2 lead and hammer. So we got an out turn hit. And I have to go fairly hard, I think, to hold this one.
Ooh, that's a good sweep. Problem. Nice shot.
Yeah, well swept. And good weight for that shot, too. I didn't know he had quite that much weight, so. So now you got to figure out how you're ever going to get that. I don't think you may have to play as much as you hate to play a takeout here. You just might have to play a takeout and try to roll behind the guard. Interesting you go on the intern here. It's just, for me, with the ice curls this much, I would hesitate to throw the intern here because I think it's hard to not have it get away from you. For me, anyways, that's the way I would look at it. I'd be going out turn and same shot, but
yeah, fair enough. It's just a little bit different mental picture within there.
Which probably means he'll make it perfect. It's not a lot of ice. He's going to throw it, has to throw it a little bit firm with that ice. It's on its way. I thought he threw it a little bit outside in, but maybe not. He's close, real close. This could be really good. Oh, I just curled.
Oh, just a hair.
Yeah.
Oh, better than it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aaron could hit that, but they're all, behind the tee line.
Yeah.
12 foot. So.
That was for me what the difficulty with that shot was. I think he underthrew it a little bit, but the difficulty coming across it on the intern where you get that such a hard curl at the end, like it's hard to control where you're going to hit that rock, right? Like the out turn and you rock, it's coming into it. I think it's a lot easier to control. So anyway, it was a good effort, and he'll have a chance here, no matter what Sluchinski does, to opt to come right around that guard and try to bury it and steal one going to the next end. Might be facing a handshake on the other side of that, but either way, you gotta try to make an effort to get back in it a bit. It's curling pretty hard too, but he'll be all right. Yeah, this could be an interesting call.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to go for the steal, which I think you're in a position where you kind of have to, get that come around to go, get something that's full 8 foot, put some pressure on. This is the safer call for sure, but it's easier for Aaron to get one, even if you make it perfect with this one.
Yeah. So he's not even. So he's trying to throw this, from what I gather, somewhere in the 4 foot up there, and maybe tee line on the 4 foot, and hope he jams it when he tries to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to play this shot. I'm playing it back a little further than that. I think I want to make sure that he can't just pick it out, because that wouldn't be very helpful. I think the more aggressive shot, obviously, is to come around that guard. But this one might get you out of the end with just giving up a 1, which, I think it's a long way back. But again, it's you're still in the game. At least if you can never pick up a 2 or a 3.
For sure, yeah.
Just got to make sure you put this where you want it.
Oh, this one's curling hard early.
Yeah. And I just think it's really light. Looked really light to me anyway. No, he's not super light. Is he going to be shot? He is. Wow, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Making Aaron work for it.
He is, yeah. That's again, I'm not so sure that that's exactly where he wanted to be, but it's not he hasn't got a lot. He's got, see half rock. It's probably enough, but at the same time, it's not a gimme.
For sure. And, people or curlers tend to play, inside out a little bit more, lots of draws to the center line. So if you have to choose which way to make someone throw, I think throwing the curl towards the boards is the way to go. bit of a new look than other hits, at least this game that Aaron's seen.
I did a game last week with Caitlin Law's team, and they had a commanding lead in the 7th end, and they're playing a shot almost like this, and she tried it twice, and both times went by it, didn't touch it, and gave up a 4.
Oh, no, yeah.
Now it was a little bit more buried, and the ice didn't curl quite like this, but still. Has he got it? I think he's really close.
That's looking good.
Shot.
And look at that roll, too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So Aaron Sluchinski picks up a 4 here in the, what end are we in? 5th end?
Yeah, we might see them throw it back.
Sorry, he drew a blank there for a minute. And to go up by a score of 10-2 after 5 ends, it looks like the guys are going to continue to play. So we'll throw this to a little short break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Yeah, no problem. So we're back here for the 6th end of our game between Aaron Sluchinski, couldn't get that out for a minute, and Justin Runciman. I'm just drawing a blank on names here.
Runciman, I think.
Runciman, yeah, that's it, yeah. I was looking at my piece of paper and I thought, I didn't want it. That's not how I said it. Anyway, and yeah, we're just really, the guys are now at this point just kind of playing to get some throws in and whatnot, because with the score, it doesn't show up on the board. They're played enough not to hang the 4-ender the last end, but the score is actually 10-2 for Sluchinski, and I think this is probably the last game of the day for both teams, so they're going to go ahead and play at least one more end and see what happens. So you see a lot of takeouts this time by the Sluchinski team, no question. And Runciman is going to try to get some guards out there and try to find a way to manufacture a couple of points and end the day on a little bit more positive note. So kudos to them for playing. A lot of teams wouldn't play in this situation, but when you're trying to kind of break into these events and compete with some of the top teams in the country, you got to play a little bit. And sometimes that means you get beat up a little bit, and you got to learn how to manufacture points. So this is a good way to get that in.
Absolutely, Jim. And it's nice because they can get some more draw reps in and be extra ready to go for the next game.
So we got an out-turn guard here. It was supposed to be a guard. It looks like it's going to slide in the rings. And Sluchinski will ask Deering to remove this stone. So not a good start for the Runciman team trying to get back into it, or even just to develop an end with hammer here. You have your first 2 rocks slide in the house. That's just not helpful. But that one goes away, and we'll see where Justin goes with this one. I'm assuming he's going to throw another corner. Problem now, of course, is that it's actually within the rules for Aaron to remove those corner guards now.
I do like the call of going to the other side, give a different look of the ice.
Sure, yeah.
The whole team, so you never know. Because you don't want to have them throw in the same spot over and over again. They get to know it really well. And, appeal is a pretty standard, straightforward shot, but if you can mix it up a bit, even go a little bit closer to the center line, a little bit wider, just give them different looks.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you take even this shot now, so the guy has to either peel it towards his yellow rock for the short roll out, but he doesn't like to do that, so now he has to roll, but he has to roll probably more than 8 feet to be not in play, and if he doesn't roll that far, then it's an opportunity for Runciman to use it. So it was a good point.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of times when the score is pretty lopsided, you'll see the teams throw it through the rings so they don't have to worry about those peels, and then they can just hit it on the outside and have a shorter roll.
Yeah, and you might have seen, I see what you mean, yeah, and you might have even seen Sluchinski do that on those first couple of shots, had those attempted guards stay in play and not in the house, right? They might well have seen him. I don't think he would have. He probably still would have went into the 4-foot, but he might have actually thrown one in and then thrown the next one or two through, because it just muddies the water sometimes when you have more rocks in, no matter whose they are.
Totally, yep.
So this corner guard is a little better. That's a nicer placement than where we were going earlier, if it stops. And it does, so that's a good spot right on the edge of the 8-foot and not too far out in front of the house, so well thrown. And no problem with the peel here for Sluchinski's team. So Justin doesn't have much choice here but to keep throwing up the corner guards and or a guard anywhere, just somewhere out here, and hope that he gets a nose hit or a hit and roll that doesn't go out, something like that, something that he can use, because there's really nothing else he can do. At some point, he might decide to come around that one in the house on the tee line. Come around.
Yeah, that'd be a good shot.
Yeah, you'll see that a fair bit when desperation sets in for some of the top teams. We have a couple of pretty amazing. What am I looking for? Results from that way back when Mark Dacey won the Brier. It was like a very similar situation where he really had nothing to work with and came around rocking the house twice, and all of a sudden scores multiple points and wins that game. And that was in Halifax, hometown Halifax. So an out-turn hit for Sluchinski. Just cleaning everything up at this point.
Yeah, just to chime in there, yeah, that's quite the game. And for our listeners as well, if you're curious in checking that out, it's quite the situation in the 10th end. It's on YouTube of the 2004 Brier final, Mark Dacey versus Randy Furby. You can check that out.
Well done, right? I was even here and I didn't even remember that stuff. So well done.
I may have a healthy or unhealthy obsession with curling.
Yeah, that's all right.
Depends on your perspective.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. So another guard goes up for Runciman Jeez. I just can't get that name out. Runciman. Apologize to Justin for that. Just can't seem to get that right. But you see there, he tried to mix that up a little bit, maybe throw a center guard instead of the corner guard. That was a good option and well done and well played, and just slid in the house again, and just that's kind of the story of the day for the Runciman team, is they just have not been able to kind of find that consistent, proper weight, and they've been around it, but just not good enough. And Sluchinski's team, pretty solid team. You're not going to have a lot of success against them if you are not able to do that. Anyway, here comes Aaron's first shot in the sixth end. Throw an in-turn hit, and he'll get it and roll out. That's basically what he wanted to do. I don't know if he's going to roll it or not, but it really doesn't matter. It'll be interesting to see the call here. I think you can probably just play it looks like maybe he's going to throw a guard again. Could play the freeze or play the come around, whichever, but
yeah, he'll be going in there somewhere. Got to get that deuce.
Yeah.
But not sure if he's trying to freeze on the one on the
sure.
button or coming around and freezing on the back 12 rock.
Freezes
Both good options.
Yeah, freezes are so tough to have them work against the good teams nowadays, but freeze here wouldn't be
Definitely
a bad choice. You don't really have a lot happening, so if you did freeze here and, who knows, maybe Aaron decides, okay, I'm going to guard it, and it doesn't work out perfect, and you'll get a chance to get two. So, but you got to make an absolutely perfect freeze because he's going to probably blast it out or try to blast it out.
Yep, and we've seen it before. He's pretty good at those. You throw the heat.
Another one that overcurled on him. That was a really nice try. It was an almost perfect weight. Maybe it was good enough weight if they had been able to go hard on it towards early on. I think maybe the problem is
very close.
Not getting some of that early sweep stuff happening, which is, you just can't wait till the end all the time, and maybe they're just having a little trouble putting that together. But anyway, here comes Sluchinski's last shot in this end. He'll look to remove this and force Justin Runciman to probably hit and stay for one. And this is going to work out pretty good. You're not going to miss too many of these. So Sluchinski sitting for Justin Runciman throwing his last rock here in the sixth end, trying to just score one.
I hope he makes this one. That would be a nice confidence boost heading into the next one. But he's been building momentum through the game, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is right on the nose.
Reminder to our viewers, we will have action on YouTube at Curling Stadium Beaumont, and you can catch those games all weekend long. We'll be doing a lot of games, and should be a lot of fun watching this as it moves along, this event. So he's just playing an in-turn tap, really, just a lightweight tap. I actually really like the way he threw that stone.
Yeah, very clean delivery. Look at that.
That was
dead on
good.
the nose.
And he hits and stays for 1 point. And the guys are going to call it a day. So we have a final score here of 10-3 for Sluchinski over Runciman. It's been a pleasure to do the game with Ryan here, and it's been a pleasure to bring the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Major to all of you viewers, and we hope to see you all weekend long.
Absolutely. The feeling is mutual, Jim. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.